Hi there. Hey, again, another little coaching tip for you that I feel like with some of these videos, it allows you, number one, to be able to look at them a couple times so you can get certain concepts. And second of all, I can say more in the video without taking a lot of time because we all only have a half hour together, and I really want to be able to pour into your life and make sure I'm answering the questions and the situations that each of you find yourself involved when we have our calls together. So I think these little coaching tips are kind of a good way for me to be able to help you, and you can listen to them a couple times and get the concepts behind it. The purpose for my little chit chat today is I want you, a lot of you I have told, and if I haven't, I want to talk to the difference between a weighted ask for referral and a vapor ask for referral. And these are all Peggy-isms. I don't know if they'd be endorsed by Brian or not, but a vapor ask is something like this. Hey, if you know anybody that's thinking about buying or selling, let me know. And they'll go, okay, all right, it's gone. It's out of their mind. They're not into real estate. They love you, but they're not focused on your business and what's going on in your business, okay? It's something it's almost a polite gesture back and forth. You feel like you've asked for the referral and they're nice enough, and of course they're gonna say yes. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it doesn't stick, okay? You got to understand, when we're asking for the referral, what we're doing is we're gaining a certain amount of mind share of theirs. Just like any other kind of advertising, which used to be 6 to 8 times, and it went up to, and now it's up to 12. So the exposures that we have to have because of all the noise that's involved in our lives, it's the exact same thing with you. Asking for the referral is exactly that. So please understand the concept behind this, and why we ask for referrals, and why we have to ask for multiple times, right? But one of the things I like to do with my clients is so that you know the why behind certain things. You'll hear me talk about that a lot. When I'm asking you to do something, I usually always try to give you the why behind it. It makes it a little bit easier to swallow. And the why behind being specific about your referrals and having a weighted referrals is that what you want to create in your conversations is don't try to run through it. Don't feel awkward with it. I'd rather you slow down and be deliberate in your asking for referral, and maybe only ask not so often with that person than just be running through and say, hey, by the way, let me know if you know anybody that is thinking about buying or selling, okay? Because it's not going to, it's almost like a seed. Yes, you're sowing the seed, but it's right on the surface and it just gets burned up, or the birds come and get it. So it's not something that goes deep into the soil and then sprouts in their life. And that's how you kind of have to look for this reaping and sowing that goes on. And you hear me talk about really investing in their relationships. So when you do ask for a referral, the more skilled that you can become at this, and you hear me talk about habits, attitudes, and skills. Brian talks about it all the time, HAS. So habits, attitude, and skills. And this today is about skills. It's about asking for the referral, but how you're asking for the referral and the reason why we're asking for it this way. So as an example, if one of my clients was a doctor and his name's Tom, okay, what I would say to him is I'd say, Tom, when you're at the hospital and maybe you guys are standing around and, you and the nurses are talking, or other doctors, if you hear somebody that, they're thinking about buying or selling, or let's say like maybe their mom or their sister or somebody like that's thinking about buying or selling, I hope that you're comfortable enough to send me their information and send them my information. I hope you're comfortable enough in referring me, and I'll do an awesome job for them, just like I do for you. Okay. Now, I know that is a little bit longer than what most of you are used to doing and asking for the referral, but this is the reason why I'm having you do this, is that as human beings, we think in word pictures. That's what goes on in our head. So if I say to you, think of a blue tree. Okay, you thought of a blue tree. You did not think of BLUETREE. That's not what you thought. You thought in word pictures. So when you take your client and you put them in their world, I said, when you're at the hospital, when you're with other nurses and doctors, if they're not a doctor, you say when you're with your family and you're sitting around, or when you're with your girlfriends having wine. I place them in certain positions because word pictures come to their mind. Their memory is different when we give them a word picture. So being more deliberate in your ask is going to have huge benefits for you down the road, and that's a skill level. So you need to be very intentional when you're talking to somebody. First of all, and you hear me talk about that all the time, know who they are, know a little bit about their world. So when you're asking them for that, you put them out there and say, when you're talking, when you're hearing, so you're teaching them. You have to, one of the definitions of being a bee is they would give you a referral if asked and taught how. Okay, so teaching them how is your job. Okay, not assuming that they're going to just give you a flood of referrals. You need to teach them. Where do they go find them? How do they give them to you? What does it sound like? Okay, so in that situation, what I said to them was I put them in their position. I told them what it would sound like. Somebody talking about, oh yeah, my mom was thinking about buying or selling. Oh yeah, my sister, she's been talking about buying or selling. Okay, so I'm teaching my client, this is what it sounds like. And then teaching them how to give you a referral is picking up their phone. Okay, first of all, make sure you're in their phone. All right, you should qualify them at least that much, that they're in their phone, and teach them. Oh, you know what? Let me give you my realtor's number. If you don't mind, I'll have her follow up with you. Because they're not carrying around your business cards. As much as we spend so much on our marketing and how important our business cards are, it's our cell phones that really are our business cards. We all know that. We all use them. We all text back and forth contact information all the time. So the more you teach them, every time you ask them, hey, it's as easy as like picking up your phone. Just pick up your phone and text me their information and text them mine. That should be part of every ask that you have. So it so drills down to them that the minute that comes up and they hear somebody that's thinking about buying or selling, the first thing that drops in their mind, let me pull out my phone because Peggy's in my phone. Let me give her your information. I have it right here. Because everybody has their phones on them 24/7. So you are as close as their back pocket. And that's another way I'll joke around with clients and say, hey, you know what? I'm as close as your back pocket. You're probably sitting on me right now. I'm right in your phone. So just pick up the phone and text me their information. Make light of some of it. That I'm as close as I am in your phone under the world's greatest realtor in the entire universe, right? And they'll kind of laugh about it. And it also gives you the ability to find out, are you in their phone? Because if you're not in their phone, you might have qualified them and they may not be referring anybody to you. So does that make sense? That I'm giving you the psychology around why we become very deliberate in our ask. So the more you think through this, the more you practice it in your car. Sound as dumb as you want in the car because it doesn't sound dumb. Video yourself, send it to me. You may think you've really got your ask down, but when there's a different party, especially somebody that's kind of astute and knows, utilize that in our relationship as me being your coach. Shoot your video. I don't care what you look like. I'm listening to what you're saying. And you should say it enough times that you can say it just like I say it. The only difference between me and you is the fact I say it a few more times than you say it. I say it to a lot of different people. So in your ask, honesty, you have to step back when you're done with your ask. Say you ran into somebody or you made your phone call. Ask yourself, was that a weighted asking for a referral or was that a vapor ask for a referral? Okay, because it comes down to courage generally. We're trying to rush through it. We're trying to just get it out there. And I'm saying, building your business like that, you're not going to get the same results. We use this analogy of like you can bake brownies and you can put the egg in and you can put the cocoa in, but maybe you don't put the salt in. And maybe you're not like super comfortable, so you don't put the baking powder in. Well, you're going to come out with something that kind of resembles brownies because it's going to have chocolate and it's going to be baked and it's probably going to be flat, but it's not going to be brownies, and it's not really going to be what you anticipated it to be, because we need all of these ingredients. We need the calls, we need the pop buys face to face with people, we need to sheer up that relationship with a note. That's why our system is based on what it's based. But just trying to run through and do it without asking for a solid referral in a genuine way, it kind of doesn't count. You can check it off, but ultimately it's kind of like working out, and you're not even working the muscle right that you're trying to build. It's just not gonna, you don't get like credits because you went to work out. You only get credits when you work that muscle. And that's the same with asking for a referral. You start to build your business, and you start to build a business that ends up being 100% referral by becoming super skilled in how you ask for that referral. So you're going to hear me talk about that all the time. So your tip for today is, I want you to be very concentrated over the next 2 weeks. I want you to listen to what your referral sounds like. If you have to write it down, call me. Call my office number when I'm not there and leave me a message. Let me hear what it sounds like, because the role playing with me is super important. I'm your advocate. I'm here to make you successful. I know what your goals are. I'm the one that can help you. So if you can't say it to me, you're probably not saying it to them either, right? So I want you to get used to that. Take your iPhone, shoot it. If you haven't made any mistakes on it, ship it off to me. Really super easy, okay? So that's your goal. Excuse me. And that is your challenge for the next 2 weeks. I want you to be super deliberate on how you're asking. Be honest with yourself. Is that a weighted ask, or was that pretty much a vapor ask? Okay?